sun shines bright as it moves across my face. I feel the light and everything is in its place. Oh, I woke up feeling great. Today was made for me, and life is good the way it should, the way it was meant to be. And it's a beautiful day.
I was still in the doctor's office and I kind of broke down because, not necessarily because I found out I had cancer, but I thought about like how was I supposed to call my mom and tell my mom this, because I knew how devastating this would be for her, you know, as an only child and a single parent. Like that phone call was probably the thing that really made me break down and feel very uncomfortable with the whole situation. And I remember walking, you know, out of the doctor's office and holding my phone and waiting to get into the car because I didn't want to, you know, bawl in the doctor's office. So I got in my car and I called my mom. She was at work, and I for like 5 or 10 minutes I couldn't even tell her what was wrong. I just couldn't say it, you know. And I remember her on the phone saying, "What? Like, I'm busy. Like, what are you saying? I can't understand the word you're saying," you know. And then finally I was able to tell her that I was diagnosed with leukemia, and that was probably the hardest phone call I've ever had to make, and the hardest thing I've ever had to tell my mom. I told my mom, like, don't worry about nothing. This is it happens all the time. People get cancer and people beat cancer, and that I needed her to be strong alongside with me so we could beat it together. Because I emphasized to my mom, like, you know, if she wasn't strong, I wouldn't be able to stay strong myself. It would be too devastating to see her, you know, so hurt and break down. So my mom has been really strong the whole time, and she's kind of been like my co-pilot through this whole process, and I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed to have such a strong mother and family, and to be strong myself. With the searches that they've done so far in the bone marrow registries, they haven't found a match for me yet. And having a good match for me is crucial to my recovery and my future. Because if they can't find a good match for me, and I have the transplant with maybe somebody who's only like a 70% or 80% match, it means that I could be faced with a lot of complications and illnesses, and my immune system won't be all there, and I'll need to take a lot of meds for the rest of my life to kind of control the rejection of not having a perfect match. So right now I have to have maybe 2 or 3 more rounds of chemo before the doctor feels it'll be necessary for me to have the transplant with whatever best match they can find. And the reason for that is because they don't want the cancer to come back within 6 months, even with the chemo treatments, with the high risk factors. The 2 high risk factors that I have in my diagnosis, there's a very good likelihood that the cancer can still grow back. And that's why I have the limited time, the time frame to find a good matching donor.